Hello, this is Justin Vogel. I'm the Chief Negotiator for SJEA. We're making these short videos for any articles or MOUs that we've identified as affecting everyone or could affect everyone. This Article 20, which deals with employee evaluations or assessment, definitely affects all 3,000 of us that are in the instructional unit. So I'm going to walk through some changes here. We were able to make some pretty good headway in this article this year. You'll find a lot of strike-throughs and different shades as we changed colors and passed several counter proposals back and forth. But this is what we've agreed to pending ratification. So some of it is just terminology as the system, we just update terminology as the system updates. So instructional practice score is more accurate than teacher performance score, for example. Let's look at the first substantive change in number 1. What we wanted here was the ability to request a different evaluator once per year. And ultimately what we settled on after a few good discussions at the negotiation table is that after receiving feedback, then an instructional person may request an additional observation from a different evaluator. So we were able to persuade the district that if they believe in inter-rater reliability, then they should have no problem doing something like this. And so while they don't want to necessarily open up the idea that anybody can request a permanent change, this should help in giving the employee, the instructional employee, an extra tool in feeling comfortable that their evaluation was fair. Let's look at the next substantive change. There will be no observations conducted the day before winter break, spring break, or Thanksgiving break. In number 3, you'll find some change here as to the timeliness of when an observation is inputted into the system. So if an evaluator observes you and on a particular day, they give you a 2-week window, and they observe you on a particular day, they then have 10 days to get that into the observation tool, which right now is the eye observation tool. So 10 days to get that in. After that, you have 5 days to respond using the tool. If you have any concerns, you can certainly have conversations and then also respond in the eye observation tool, and the observation will be finalized in the next 5 days. So trying to cut down on that idea that an evaluator walks in, does an observation, and you don't hear anything for weeks. The next substantive change is down here with the non-participation clause. So we were able to, we're talking about things like graduation here, and that doesn't have to be necessarily high school graduation, but we're talking about things that indeed are voluntary that sometimes, depending on the school you work at, are framed as non-voluntary or involuntary. So what we were able to negotiate here was that if you can't make one of those things, then it can't be used as part of the evaluation process. So it can't be held against you. What happens is, let's use graduation as an example. It is a voluntary event, and a teacher cannot make it, and one principal has no problem with that and accepts the reason and or doesn't ask any questions. At a different school, you might have a very different situation where the principal questions the instructional employee or what have you. And what we're trying to do is avoid any repercussions for the simple non-participation in a voluntary activity. All right, let's go down to, I believe, the last substantive change here. We have new employees. We're going to try to make sure that our new employees understand the eye observation tool and the process. So training will be conducted as requested for those people on the new evaluation process, and that can be on site. That's not necessarily centrally located at the district. That can be on site. Okay, so those are the major changes. We have one small change to the EEE committee, which is the committee that discusses things related to the evaluation system. We are going to reduce from 9 to 6 members from both sides, management and SJEA. We think that'll make for a more appropriately sized committee and more effective. So those are the major changes to this article, Article 20. I hope you find them desirable and recommend voting yes on all of these tentative agreements, but this is a particularly good one. Thanks for your time.